Hello, my name is Brant Hunt. My channel simply is called Discerning What is True. I'm going to be doing chapter 2 here, a book called Psychology and Kabbalah. Chapter 2 is simply called Revelation. Again, this is from the same author that wrote the book called Kabbalah, Tradition of Hidden Knowledge. And this book is available from Thames and Hudson. Let's get into the book here. Thank you for being here. Today is, again, like I said, the 28th day of October 2025. Revelation chapter 2. In one sense, the history of Kabbalah is unimportant because its essential teaching has always been the same through the ages. Only the form of it has changed over time. The content of the Torah, as it is traditionally called, is about the origin, nature, and purpose of the universe and mankind's place in a divine process by which God beholds God in a reflection of existence. This theme runs through the Bible and every esoteric system that emerged out of that circle of human beings who can perceive the transpersonal dimension of reality. A culture may clothe and sometimes obscure the teachings, but its presence is sensed in rituals, devotion, and metaphysics by all who seek a meaning to life, and even by those who have only a superstitious appreciation of that which lies behind the surface of the physical world. The original Gnostics, or, quote, those who know, end quote, were the people who had direct access to higher knowledge. This may have come about through the performance of correct actions, about prayer or deep contemplation. It could also be revealed by the instruction of one who knew from personal mystical experience what lay beyond the ordinary mind and perceived its upper levels and their workings. Unfortunately, as has been noted by mystics, there is always the problem of describing the indescribable. Many, therefore, have had to reduce their perceptions into earthly terms in order to convey something of these finer and subtle dimensions. The following legendary events give a flavor of this order of reality. According to Jewish tradition, Enoch, that's Enoch, the initiative, he was the one who initiated this, who lived in the earliest period of mankind sojourn on earth, was an individual quite unlike the other people of his time. He had not forgotten his origin in paradise, and because immersed in the flesh, he lived in seclusion, pondering the reason why human beings had been incarnated. That's a good reason, because most people don't ever even think about that. So actually, that's a major reason. Others before him had read the book of Raziel, Raziel, if that's correct, right? Or could be also the secrets of God, which had been given to Adam that explained the reasons of existence. But Enoch wished to know for himself, so he lived a life of intense inner work, the result of which was his ascension. He was taken up in a vision to view the higher sources, higher regions of existence, and see how they operated. Here he was shown the past, the future, and the souls of yet unborn, as well as those of the dead. He also saw the angelical realm of paradise with its multiplicity of forms that are the archetypes of the material world below, and the heavenly realm of the archangels who watched over and supervised the creative processes of the universe before being brought into the presence of the Holy One in the primordial world of pure light. Tradition says that the archangel Gabriel then said to him, Enoch, be not afraid. Come with me and stand before the face of the Lord, end quote. But Enoch fell down before the Holy One and worshiped, even though the voice of the divine said, quote, "Be not afraid, rise up and stand before my face forever," end quote. Then great Michael, the captain of the hosts of God, lifted Enoch up and took his earthly robe from him. This is physicality. And anointed him with holy oil and clothed him in celestial raiment. He had become equal to the angelical creatures around him. He was then instructed in the Torah for 30 days and nights. Enoch remained in this exalted state of consciousness, recording all that he had heard and saw. Afterwards, he was told by the Holy One of the secrets that even the archangels do not know the reason for Lucifer's fall and why sin occurred in Eden. He was also informed about the origins of Adam, the manifestation of the worlds, and shown the great curtain that hangs before the throne of heaven, whose threads represent all the generations of mankind. After this revelation, he was instructed to descend to the reality of earth and teach about those matters until he was called up to take his place permanently in the higher worlds. After he had transmitted what could to his household, that is, his school, end quote, he told them to pass on this knowledge, concealing nothing from those who truly wished to know. He was then, tradition tells us, hidden by a darkness so that he was lost to earthly eyes. At this moment, in the same month, date, and hour of his birth, he was taken up to the highest heaven. When the darkness lifted, the people saw that he, quote, was not, end quote, as the Bible puts it. That is, he had disincarnated without having to go through the natural procedure of dying and leaving a corpse. The figure of 5 here says Enoch. He is said to be the first human to develop his full potential in remote antiquity. During deep meditation, he was taken up in the higher worlds and shown the laws and principles that govern them. Upon leaving the earth without experiencing death, he was transfigured into Metatron, Metatron, a being with divine powers with the staff of divine knowledge. Besides following the first school of the soul and spirit, he appears later as Melchizedek, who initiated Abraham, and later as Elijah in order to aid or protect important saints, sages, and mystics. While his children built him a memorial at the earthly location of his departure, Enoch was going through the various stages of ascension called, in Kabbalah, the lower and the upper halls. Here, he encountered the angelical and archangelical hosts of the worlds of Yazara and Bariah, or formation and creation, who were not initially friendly towards this terrestrial intruder, for we must understand that no human being up to this time had reached full potential. Enoch was the first, and if it had not been for divine protection, then some angelicals might have harmed him, for they were not a little jealous of mankind's special place in the scheme of existence. This problem had caused the downfall of Lucifer, the highest of the archangels, when he refused to acknowledge the superiority of Adam, who was the most perfect image of the Holy One. Enoch was now to fill Lucifer's vacant place in the seventh heaven, which is the closest point to the face of divinity. Thus, when Enoch arrived at this level, he was transfigured by the fire of the world of Azilut, spelled Azilut, or imagination, into the human angelical status of Metatron, who has the title, quote, "He who bears the name of God," end quote. As such, Enoch became the master teacher of all mankind, the source of every esoteric tradition. He was recognized in Egypt as Thoth, Thoth, in Greece as Hermes Trismegistus, and in the Bible as Melchizedek. As such, he initiated Abraham into the secrets of existence. Later, he appeared as Elijah, who was also without earthly parents. In Kabbalistic tradition, he turns up at crucial points to instruct or help people in difficult situations when the laws of the earthly level need overriding for some higher purpose. This is called the miraculous and is witnessed in the preservation of individuals in dangerous circumstances who have certain spiritual jobs to do. The story of Enoch belongs to a different kind of reality. At the level of nature, only the sense perceive. But this is confined to the ever-moving moment so that only the obvious is probable, or provable, I should say. However, the psyche that inhabits the body can go further, recognize other levels, and link together various phenomena to make some sense of the continually changing situation, detecting rhythms and patterns not only in the exterior world, but also within the body and psychological processes of emotion and thought and memories that have their origins in the near or remote past. This is the realm of the psyche, which acts as the medium between the outer and inner dimensions of a human being, and that other reality in the legend of Enoch. Enoch represents the complete development of every level in an individual, from the physical through the psychological and spiritual organism of consciousness to the divine presence in everyone. You heard that, folks. So say that. Let me say that over. In other words, through the psychological and spiritual organism of consciousness to the divine present in everyone. So that's a statement basically saying that God is within you already. You just got to find it, and you got to pursue it. This leads to the premise, which must be at least provisionally accepted, and within the deeper parts of the psyche are unconscious areas that hold not only memories of this life, but of all humanity, even as the body possesses an inherited knowledge gained over millions of years of physical evolution. Kabbalah takes the notion even further in saying that a human being is a miniature version of the primordial Adam, who is the model of all that exists. Thus, each individual, like a hologram, is a microcosm of the whole universe. Here we take the Platonic line and begin by setting out the grand design of existence according to Kabbalah, so that we may fit some Aristotelical type conclusions to our general scheme, making a balanced blend of the empirical and the mystical. Figure 6 here, which simply is called Tree of Life. This diagram first appeared in the Middle Ages. Its origin is in the 7-branch candlestick in the tabernacle of Moses in the Bible, with its 3 nodules on the center column and the 22 decorations. It became the symbolic basis of this metaphysical scheme. In this ancient world, symbolism was the knowledge of the time, you see. That's how it was relayed. Truth was relayed by symbols, you see. Because if it was relayed by literal terms, no one would understand it, you see, regardless. And in fact, they wouldn't even ever have that choice, because simply they were not ready for that, you see. In the ancient world, symbolism was, okay, so I said that. Later in the medieval period, metaphysics became the mode. Today, we use highly technical scientific terms, but this does not invalidate what earliest epochs knew by other names. This is from Moses Cordova area, 16th century, a quote from him. And that's the end of the chapter. It's a pretty quick chapter there, folks. So I'm going to stop it here. Again, my channel simply is discerning what is true. Much shorter video. Let's see, I have a visitor today. Is H2O Saber. Good evening. Good to see you. Hopefully we'll have Phil Langdon here in the near future. Want to talk to him about a particular book here called Kabbalah, Tradition of Hidden Knowledge. It's got a lot of symbols in this particular book also. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this week we get a chance to meet. Phil Langdon's been very busy a lot of things. So that's the reason why I've not been able to get hold of him in the last, 3 or 4 months. It's been at least, if not longer. So I appreciate you all being here. Again, I'm doing a different book, but it's by the same author. Okay. And this is simply called Psychology and Kabbalah. This is chapter 2 called Revelation. So I appreciate your being here. Hopefully you'll get a chance next time to maybe ask some questions to Phil Langdon in the near future. Okay. Thank you for listening. Have a good evening. Take care. Good seeing you, H2O Savior. Take care.